Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling us again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. Welcome back to News of My Fiance. Raw, live, in person, live Raw with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. But tonight, it is Los. Los is in the building.
Tonight.
We're reporting live from the 5 Alarm Fire. That is indeed Portland, Oregon. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Be a part of the text chat fam squad and join the conversation in the chat. Right now, we're currently up on Twitch, my Facebook, Morgan's Facebook, and YouTube. Shout out to our production team, Kyle of Residual Audio, Jess, Ross, and our remote quality controller, Michelle, for making sure the show appears, making sure the show happens every Monday. And of course, shout out to all of you for watching, listening, and staying engaged with us. Now, before we get started, fiancés, make sure that you tap that like button, subscribe, and comment, and ring that notification bell so the algorithm gets engaged with us too. Become a member over at patreon.com/newsofmyfiance. Check out everything we have going on at the website, newsmyfiance.com. And yeah, let's get this thing popping.
Yep.
Los.
When people subscribe on YouTube, will it like pop up and say like, oh, this person subscribed?
Sometimes we get a little notification.
Okay. If y'all do that, we will shout you out by name specifically.
But of course. But Los, what's good, man?
That's good.
Anyone that has been kicking it with us,
Yep.
either News of My Fiance or Unrefined Sophisticates, Los should be a very familiar face.
Yep. I'm usually talking in the chat.
Yeah, Los is always in the chat.
Distracting.
And then also, he is the third member of Unrefined Sophisticates with Morgan Jones and Ken Jones.
Yep.
Los is production there. But yeah, man, MJ is on vacation of sorts.
Relaxing.
She's relaxing.
Not enough, though.
Not enough, but she's getting a well-deserved relaxed time right here. So no MJ tonight, no MJ on Thursday morning. And then you guys are, get to chat back in with her next week. Yeah, we apologize for her absence.
You know that, like, now that Morgan's not here, though, finally a chance for the men to speak.
Oh, am I right? Women,
am I right?
Am I right? Come on,
I know that
guys.
people have just been itching to hear more about what the men have to say.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
feel like men don't get enough.
That's what
we don't get enough mic time.
You're onto something.
Like in general, in all media.
She's gonna like that.
Where are the men?
Should I clip that?
Yeah, clip that. Clip that. Like, come on. Oh man, hilarious.
Man, it's good to be here.
Yeah. So things we'll be discussing tonight. Trump gets court approval to send a National Guard. Finally got that approved. Mm-hmm. Oh, yay for him, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Amazon cloud outage disrupts internet services worldwide because of some of the things that are happening with the CDC. The zombie apocalypse is on the way. Incoming.
Lovely.
And last but certainly not least, OG Santos. My guy, George Santos. Out here. Back on the block. I told y'all when he went in, there's no real way to keep him down. I said this on several episodes.
Can't keep a real player down.
You cannot keep him down. But, tis what it is. Man's is back on the streets. So those are the stories for tonight.
And he has things to say.
And he's got things to say.
He's
got things to say. Don't try to silence him. We're not about that. So those are the stories we're going to jump into in the second hour. But yeah, man. Los, we talk about you a lot, but I feel like this is an opportunity for the people to learn a little bit more about you. So you are not just a collaborator in all things media that we do. You're a friend of the fam, like an actual friend. And I wish Morgan was here to tell the story of how we met.
Yeah, that's so crazy. It's such like a fever dream like time.
Because it was so long ago.
Dude, so long ago. And I met you both separately, too, in the same space.
So you got to tell it.
I used to work at Dutch Bros, unfortunately.
Which one?
The one at Lloyd Center. Yeah, the 24-hour one. Back when it was still 24 hours.
Right.
And Am had come through first, I think, and he told me that he was a DJ, and I was, like trying to promote my photo shit everywhere all the
Yeah.
time. So I was like, oh, let me tap in with this guy. He's a DJ. He might be like tapped in with musicians and stuff. And then Morgan had mentioned when she came through by herself one time that she did a podcast. And I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. Like, I'll tap into a podcast, you know, like I listen to podcasts sometimes. So.
Right. And mind you, when I go to Dutch, I am getting Morgan's order.
But I didn't know this until a couple of times you started going in because I started remembering Morgan's order and I remembered your order. But then I saw them come together in one time and I was like,
what the hell?
I was like, is that normal? And everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, is that Morgan? And they're like, yeah, an ambush. And I was like, Morgan and ambush? I was like, both of them? And they're like, yeah, they're together. And I was like, I think it was April. She was like, you don't know they're together? I was like, no, what? I was like, that's cool though. And then after that, like I would see you guys' like order come in, and I'm like, I already know what's up.
I know it's them. I know it's them.
Trying to get y'all as much free shit as I could.
Nice.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to.
Yeah, man.
You know, I feel like I'm far enough away from that job.
You definitely can.
I was trying to run that shit up. Like I was giving as much free shit as I could.
You was laced us with the stickers and all of that good shit.
Yeah, the stamp cards. You already know.
Which was like, we ended up finding out, like, I guess so many years into it, that like the stickers, the actual like the collectible stickers and shit was like a huge thing.
Oh yeah, people go hard for those.
I'm
not gonna like hard.
So I saw something. I don't know what it was that happened.
He like said like a heartfelt message. To what I understand, he like put out a message
about D'Angelo, right?
About D'Angelo. And he was like kind of upset that his fans like didn't fuck with that, or said that he was being performative and that like he doesn't even really fuck with that kind of something like that.
Which is interesting because a lot of the content I've seen about Tyler and his creative process and his appreciation specifically for like soul and R&B music, that's right up his alley. That makes complete sense. And it's like, if you are one of these hardcore Tyler fans who's been loving him for forever, you've seen the transition.
I think that the discourse is more about how, as a person of color, it was a bit harder to be a fan of him in the past, and then he transitioned kind of out of that. But during that time, I think people are trying to make him understand that he built an audience of people that are not like the people that listen to D'Angelo, if that makes sense. You know, it's like
where's the crossover?
And it's like not something that he should be surprised about when he's like online talking about that kind of stuff. You know, like. It almost seemed like your fans are gonna not know or like not care, you know, like. And I think a lot of discourse online is about that, about like you can't be surprised about you built this audience of like a lot of white kids, and like saying some like fringy ass shit that like not a lot of people of color could like relate to as much, and then now you're surprised, but
okay,
I don't know, like
so I can definitely identify myself being in the minority in the way that just as a DJ, I'm listening to a wider range of music, right?
That's valid.
And also the type of DJ that I've been, for the most part, was always kind of like, I centered my musical experience in it. Whereas there are DJs that play music specifically to get the bag.
Okay.
So they're staying within genres and what's expected of them. Late 80s, early 90s hip hop, and I started doing my own musical experience. So I remember when Tyler came out, first my introduction to Tyler was the Yonkers video. And I'm watching that shit, and I'm like, first off, this beat is hard as fuck.
Are you playing that in the club though? Like,
no, absolutely not. Absolutely
not. A lot of it is not like
you're not playing that in the club at all. So I'm watching this. And I'm like, this shit is hard. And okay, I know where I can play this. So I used to do gigs at this spot downtown in Philly called Ubik. It was a sneaker shop.
Okay.
So they were selling, sneakers, decks, streetwear, and they also had like branded events in there. So like we do a Vans event in there. We do all types of different brand collaborations events in there. And then the person I was working with, Set Free, he would always book like acts. So it'd be nothing. I'm in there, I'm opening for Green Lantern, or I'm opening for the Clips. But the crowd is a diverse crowd. Okay. So and it's a diverse younger crowd. So that's where I'm getting Yonkers off easily. So I was like, still to me, I felt like this is cool, but I feel like overall, this is not an artist I'm supposed to be fucking with. Like, this wasn't my shit, right?
Yeah. That's
then I listened to Goblin.
That's the album that like kind of put you on?
I listened to Goblin. And I did a review on this website called Out of Print Mag.
Okay.
And the review was from the standpoint of, like, I was telling everyone in my age bracket, like, y'all are missing out. I know that Yonkers shit threw you off, and I know he seems like a little weirdo, but y'all are missing out on Tyler. Tyler is actually the shit.
Yeah.
Like, these kids are on fucking point. And I remember the editor for the website, he was like, your review of Goblin is our highest trafficked piece of content, period, ever.
That's crazy.
Ever. And this is around the time when they were on, were they on Jimmy Kimmel? And Most was there. And like, this shit was just like, I'm like, nah, y'all, this kid's about to they're continue to do great shit. And then I'm listening to him and I'm hearing like the homophobic shit and the really like misogynistic shit. But because I grew up listening to that 90s hip hop,
it almost was like the same.
He's carrying tradition, but at the same time, as we're getting older, it's like we don't really talk like that no more. Like, but how can you blame a younger artist for doing the shit we were doing when we were younger? Yeah. So I've always had a place like, I think Tyler always made sense for me, basically.
I think his wave kind of missed me, honestly. Like, I think that I like kind of saw some of that music coming out, like when it was coming around, but it was a little too fringy for me, I think.
Okay.
And then I didn't really tap into his music again until like, what is the last one? Or not the last one, but like 2 albums ago.
Call Me You Get Lost?
Not before that.
So you had the one that just dropped, Chromacopia, Call Me You Get Lost, Igor. Yeah, Igor was the first one where I started like listening to him again, and I was like, okay, some of this is like a vibe, but it's like it was one of those genres where I had to kind of step back and be like, people fuck with this, so like, why do people fuck with it? It's not like I fuck with it. It was just like people really like this, so I was trying to see why. Kind of like with rage music, like rage rap. Okay.
I started off with that being like, okay, people like this, like why?
Why? What's it? Like what's attracting them to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for me, and especially like I said with the interviews he's been doing more recently, where he's at least I see that he's speaking more about his the things he locks into musically when he's doing production.
Yeah.
And just like you just feel the vibes of where he's going musically now. For sure. It's definitely more mature.
I think that's what people kind of are like.
They're getting upset.
They're like, you matured, and like your audience didn't necessarily mature with you as much.
So he's facing the same thing that Drake faced, but in reverse. In the way that we were like, we've matured, you haven't matured with us.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that the more interesting discourse though is about like, I'm always trying to think of how I can relate to things, especially like that end up having so many people talk and give their opinions and stuff.
Right.
But as an artist, there is kind of like a connection and a disconnection to like your work, you put stuff out and then you don't really have a lot of control over like how people interact with it after that.
Right.
So I think that like seeing how much people, like what people say affects him, like how that like makes him mad or if he doesn't care about it at all, type of shit.
Right.
Like, I think that's the more interesting conversation to have when that happens to artists like that is like, how much are they letting this affect them? And like, how much would I let that affect me? If I was getting bombarded online from all like avenues because of whatever the case may be, but like,
and that makes sense. Like I can imagine it being tough for him in the way that he's been so connected to his fan base.
And from what I understand about him, he is like a person that has stated in the past, like that he's like, why would I not defend myself if I have like the opportunity to?
Right.
But some people will just like, don't even care about any of that.
Yeah.
It's like we'll keep pumping along,
But or they will care and you'll just never know it.
Yeah. And I just bring that up to say, like, I've seen a lot of people more recently have like the internet kind of turn on them, like discourse kind of turn on them. And it's like seeing how they respond to that, and like how much they actually care about that. And like, it's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what his reaction is going to be. I haven't been following it too close. I just saw Rap Latte podcast, which is Mr. Green and Teray, and they had 2 guests on, Curtis King, and I can't remember the 4th person. They were discussing the reaction, everyone's reaction to this backlash. And to me, it's like, is this really something?
I was really going to say that. To me, it's just interesting to see what people like spark up discourse about. It's like, out of all the things we could be talking about right now, y'all are like, did you see what happened on Twitter? It's like,
people are mad at Tyler for shouting out D'Angelo. It's like, okay, I don't. This shouldn't shake up.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to bring this up, but like,
what?
Have you seen all the memes about Hassan and his dog?
Piker?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, there was like this like discourse going around about this video that like looks like he's like shocking his dog with a shock collar. The worst people online came out to just like say all this stuff and like have this huge discourse about like dog training and which collar he was using and like investigating, like bringing the brightness up in photos. And I was like why we're talking about like taking care of a dog, right? Like that's what everybody's talking about right now. Like
just so we're clear,
we're spending all of our time and effort to be talking about this thing that got resolved pretty quickly if you just like do a little bit of research. But then it's like, it's just so interesting to see what people care about, bro. Like,
but like if that's what you're looking for
hours about it.
If that's what you're looking for, 1, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
2, we know how rage bait works. Like that shit, it moves the algorithm in every way fucking possible. It really does. So yeah, that makes sense. It's fucked up, but that makes sense. It makes complete sense. Yeah, crazy. Apologies for people that are reloading. The stream has gone down a couple of times, but Jess has us back up. It seems pretty solid right now. Things are looking good. So we are not up on Facebook, but we are definitely up on YouTube.
You guys want us to go over everything that you guys missed? I can start from the top.
So we introduced Carlos. We talked about Taylor Swift fans. We talked about Tyler fans. Did you go to the No Kings protest?
I did. I popped out for a little bit.
Okay. How was it?
I would say it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Meaning?
Okay, I will preface by saying, I feel like sometimes I sound like such a hater, bro.
Listen.
I will preface by saying expressing dissent is extremely important, especially if you believe, you got me here? especially if you believe in the way that this country is supposed to be ran, ideally, and like the way that it was founded.
Yeah.
And it is important for people to get out and feel like their voice is being heard at least a little bit, and to do that in different ways. And different people have different abilities and can do that in different ways. Mm-hmm. So that is good, I will say. I will also say that in my personal opinion, the environment in which we can have a revolution is not going to be safe for little kids and grandparents. You see what I'm saying? So if the majority of the people outside are little kids running around having a blast and like grandparents with signs and stuff, that's a great vibe because it makes people, have discourse or whatever.
Right.
But it's not like pushing the needle in any kind of way. I think specifically marching in that kind of way doesn't work in the way that it has in the past.
Okay. That's a very good point.
Marching in the civil rights movement is very different than marching at a No Kings protest. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yes. So the way you're describing it is like Revolution, the amusement park.
It's like you guys want to go protest for a little bit and then we'll get mimosas and then we'll like have a lunch and then we'll go back home and like watch a movie or something. It's
over
like,
there they're selling elephant ears.
Dude.
It's getting in line for the elephant ears at the protest.
And like I said, it's not bad per se. Yeah. But I will say that it feels a lot like controlled opposition. Where it's like,
because it is.
It literally is, where it's like the police are blocking off the roads for you, brother, and you're trying to tell me you're like pushing the needle. They are letting you be there.
Your protest has a permit.
Yeah. I guarantee you, no like needle pushing is getting done when you are applying for a permit beforehand, bro. Like
your protest has a permission slip. So
yeah, and that I think that it's important to have this kind of stuff to get people involved in this kind of stuff in general, to then do their own research, to then know what we really need, and be ready for that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just not what I think other people think it is.
No, that's my feeling now. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
There was a moment, I want to say, coming out of Michael Brown, that situation, where I was like, we got to be done with the protests. Mm-hmm. We got to be done with the protests. It definitely doesn't have. It doesn't have the same effect that it did in the past. Stakes are higher. The impact I'm looking for is not. It's not going to happen that way. We got to change the whole approach, and I became like really, really like disenfranchised with protesting altogether, and my view changed in the way that protests can still act as like you kind of like what you illustrated a little bit earlier, can still act as an on-ramp for the right person. Yeah. For the right people. Also, the revolution isn't a single road. There are many responsibilities, many facets to it. And absolutely, what we saw with Luigi and who was it? Oh, the Charlie Kirk situation. So we discussed that on the show, but there was some other conversation I was having with people, offline. So for those of us who aren't confused about who and what Charlie Kirk was, him not being here anymore for us is a plus. Right. I guess be 100% about that. Like, anyone else doesn't understand that, you're in denial. You also are racist. Yeah. Period. And you're comfortable being an instrument of racism. That's why you don't find a problem with what he did, and who he was. So I watch people react to that, to seeing it, and just the whole situation. Like, this is too far. We've crossed the line here. We got to back this down. Political violence is not the answer. Politics has always been violent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like,
revolution has always been violent. Yeah. And while initially my response and reaction was, okay, y'all don't want revolution, and it's not that. It's not that, Los. What it is people are comfortable with their positions within society, and while they might want to will something, everyone has a limit on how much they can participate. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so also, like, you want to feel you want to feel safe in the United States, but you don't know what it took and what the United States was doing within foreign policy to give you the safety that you're now enjoying. Now we're seeing some of that illustrated with the relationship through Israel, but prior to that, we have been bombing, we have been leading coups, we have been destabilizing nations all over the planet. I tell people this all the time. You do a good little week of research on shit the US has done like elsewhere. You're like, whoa. Yeah. Are we the bad guys? Consistently. We've been the bad guys from this nation's inception. No, and I also wanted to say this. As far as like protests go, I think that if you were an actual activist and somebody who's like looking forward or working towards the revolution, you have to acknowledge the fact that just as fast as we are finding new ways to protest, the machine is working against us at the same time. Of course. Absolutely. Yes. So a form of protest that we used 40, 50, 60 years ago completely ineffective. Ineffective whatsoever. Like that, as a matter of fact, that form of protest is actually part of their game plan. Exactly. It falls within the. And that's what I was trying to tell my homie like yesterday, because I was kind of like dumbing it down a little bit and just like seeing how I could simplify it. And I was saying it's like the U.S. is kind of like a pipe, and it has a pressure valve on it. Yeah. And when you open up the pressure valve, it lets a little steam off, and people go rah rah rah, and then the people opening it, the government go, oh my gosh, this steam is so annoying. And then they go, y'all good? Cool. And they close that thing back up again. And then people are cool enough until they have enough built up in them. They're like, no, I need to get this out. And then they can do that at a No Kings protest type thing. Yeah. And then that's sufficient enough for them, or that's like what they feel like is the first step. Yeah. But like, there's nothing requiring them to do other things. Anything else. Really bring them around at all. Revolution. So much so that when they witness something like, Luigi or Charlie Kirk, it's just like, okay, we've gone too far. Yeah. And it's like, you don't know a lot of if you think protest is just holding signs and walking around, then you already have a misconception of what protest is. Also, if that is enough for you, then for me, you've communicated where you are within the struggle, the level of privilege that you're able to.
I didn't even want to say this, but in Portland, you see it's so heavy too. I was having a conversation with my homie outside. We're smoking a joint on the street, like on the side of the street, and the people walking to the protest are walking right past us. And he's like, "You saw that too, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like, are they fucking scared of us or something? Like, we're just smoking a joint over here. Everybody's like walking around us and shit." And I was like,
wow.
You're trying to tell me these are the people that are out here being like, oh, we want to fight for you and we know what's up. Like, we're allies." And it's like, you walk around me on the sidewalk, dog. Like, it's like, what? So,
yeah, man.
I knew that like a lot of people like that were going to pop out to this type of event. And like, I went out to just get a little vibe check of see what it was like. And like I said, it was like super family friendly. I got like a fucking, sorry, I feel like I'm cussing a lot.
No,
I got
good.
like a inflatable duck costume. Like they were giving out inflatable costumes for free.
Are you serious?
I swear. I got in that line so fast. They're like, free cost. I was like, yeah. But yeah, I'm like riding a duck. It's like a duck costume. It's tough. It was cool. I heard there was like some counter protesters too. Like,
of course.
But I heard it was like maybe a group of Proud Boys or something like
Wait,
that.
listen,
like
at this point, we are a hotbed for the counter protests. We're a hotbed. I don't want to say at this point like it's just starting to happen, but in an attempt to,
they're like trying to bring more and more right wing influencers.
Yeah.
Like
so that's what's really been crazy for me, especially with the ICE situation, the ICE facility, that so many right wing content creators are showing up to, do propaganda and shit. And it's interesting because there's nothing happening.
And to what I understand, also local media was like there and got denied the same access that they got. Like,
nothing's happening. One, but for their fan base, nothing needs to be happening.
Yeah,
like they don't deal with reality whatsoever.
Yeah,
you can literally stand in front of an empty parking lot and say, "There's a sea of people behind me."
Yeah,
and they're pissed and they're Antifa. And motherfuckers were like, I mean, you watch the president say, "I had the biggest turnout at my inauguration." Dude, we are watching the same video.
Yeah.
We're watching the same overhead shot. And then his fans, MAGA, will be like, "We had the biggest turnout." And it's like, okay, all right, cool. Right. You guys definitely tried to inject bleach in your veins for COVID. So, I guess this all makes sense.
Now, the situation at the ICE building is so interesting, too. Like, it honestly, it gives the same vibes almost of like the No Kings thing, where it's like, yes, you guys are here. And I always say like, yes-ish, like you're like, yes, but you're not really giving the and, I think, Like, did you see, you watch Channel 5 at all still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's here.
Do you see like how they bullied him out of the ICE building?
No.
Yeah, bro. Like, they chased him off of the like area.
Who did?
Like some protesters. They were like, "Oh, you're like a." They're talking about all that stuff that happened with Andrew and those women and stuff like that, and they were saying that Andrew was like making people feel uncomfortable. So she was like yelling at him and like just screaming hella, making a lot of noise to like make him leave and stuff. And then they like went to his production team and they were like, "You should consider the people you're working with and shit like that." And like, I had this conversation with somebody about like fixing yourself, like in rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I feel like
restorative justice.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes, I feel like as a leftist, if you can't make the space to like make people be able to restore themselves and like improve and shit like that, instead you're kind of just like bullying them out of the space and like being abrasive about it. I think that it's just like a bad way to approach it. And sometimes absolutely. I feel like a lot of the people that are championing things like anti-ICE stuff that are like out there rah-rahing every single day, it's like they're really loud and that is good and it's right.
Absolutely.
It's like, yes, and is what I mean.
Like,
yes, and how do you approach it when you see a person that you want to, have a conversation about like, hey, have you rehabilitated? How have you like taken the steps to do this type of stuff? Like,
it's the extra step, that isn't necessary in the performance. Right?
Exactly. And I don't know how much of it at the ICE building is a performance and how much of it is true leftist people trying to bring about like change in our society.
I think because of the nature of the way the protest has evolved.
Yeah.
That someone referred to it as like a frivolity in protesting. Initially, my immediate reaction to seeing the inflatables down there was like, okay, this is smart. Because initially I was like, no one should go the fuck down there.
Yeah.
No one should.
Because they wanted to make it look terrible.
Right. They want to start agitation, and they can't tear gas an empty street and get the stories and get, and be able to ramp things up the way they want to. But then when they started going down there, they said in some of the early days of the protest, there were right-wing agitators dressed as Antifa and all black. They outed those people very early. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and then not too long after that, then it was, okay, now we're out here in costumes. And it was like, oh shit, that's hilarious. Yeah. So you made an entire joke with the situation, which I thought was really smart. I think now though, because that received like international spotlight, now people, the fact that you can go to the protest and get a costume is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are now. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like so mixed feelings about it. It's like, yes, but like, is it enough almost? Like
it's kind of devolved on some real shit. It's less effective as it serves one purpose of, making sure the narrative doesn't just get pushed in one direction solely. Yeah. And being controlled by the right. I think it's diluted whatever could have happened. And again, like, how much can actually happen? Are we talking about storming the ICE building? No one's having that conversation. Right. That's not what we plan on doing. So, whatever you guys are doing down there, let that be at. Cool.
Okay. I read a book. I forget what it's called, but I think it's by a guy named Micah White.
Okay.
And he talks about in a section of it, he talks about how a revolution either happens over 100 years or within 28 days. Yeah. And I think that obviously this form of what we're doing in front of the ICE building is not going to bring about the revolution or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that our more important task is to be dealing with things that are going to push us over the next 100 years to be okay with revolution. Having conversations, being normal with people like around you, and having normal ass conversations about why shit is wrong and like that kind of stuff. I think that is like the more important.
I think also people need to start having like serious conversations about what all this means, like forecasting, projections, and like you said,
in a normal way too.
In a normal way.
That's what I'm saying. If you're too abrasive about it, nobody's ever gonna fucking listen to you. One,
yeah, and you're gonna sound like the boy cries wolf.
And also, it's like, let's keep it a buck. There's like a lot of words you have to learn specifically for this, like information, concepts. Like not everybody's motivated to learn that kind of stuff. But being a person in regular day life that's like facilitating those relationships, those conversations with your friends, I think is like what's important.
When you are, I feel like when you're aware of what's happening now and having the imagination to envision what this could lead to in the future, you run the risk of sounding like an alarmist a lot. And I'm just like, Morgan has sent me a post a couple of days ago when I was gone, and she was like, oh shit, people are really starting to take what you were saying like seriously, like they've reached the point of what you're talking about, and now this is part of the today's discourse within media,
like pop culture discourse.
And it was Trump 2028, and I was like, oh, I'm glad people caught on to that shit because he made it very clear.
It's almost like too late at this point, though.
No, it's not almost. It is too late. Yeah. I said people's relationship with the Constitution is what's handcuffing us. You need to understand how much you've lost so you can understand what you have to work with to move forward. And the fact that we're still relying on, well, the Constitution says this and the courts say this and the law says this. These are all things he's thrown out. These are all things that he's completely disabled and dismantled. Yeah. So if you're still dealing with the toys he doesn't play with anymore, how do you expect to have?
I'd be like, well, wait, what about this? He's like, hey,
well, what do you? He's like, what about what? What are you talking about? These guys are annoying me with this Constitution.
Constitution.
Yeah, I'm on my 15th term. What the hell's going on? So like, Michelle said, there's been so much great organizing going on, more radical and direct action, people recruiting and educating folks at NK.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think is more important, where it's like pushing the vibe in general of the culture to be like more accepting of this kind of stuff is kind of what I think we should be focused on, instead of being like, we're going to try and force some change to happen in like a small ass amount of time, or expect something that we've been doing for a year or two to like bring about the change, and it hasn't yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And I think a lot of people are like discouraged by that shit too, if that makes sense.
They're discouraged that these things aren't having an impact?
No, just like the way that, yeah, I mean, yes. Like, task, you know.
Right. Shaw also said the inflatables and the naked bike ride literally got cited by the Ninth Circuit judge who dissented today. It's an important tactic for highlighting the absurdity and falsity of the lies of the administration. Facts. 100% facts.
Yes, and
right.
Yes, and the administration does not give a fuck.
No.
See, that's the problem with everything.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are so right, but at the end of the day,
they're going to do whatever
Trump
the fuck
is going
they
to
want.
do whatever the fuck
Whatever
he
he
wants.
wants.
And that's what's, it's like scary, but also interesting because I'm like, I know I'm watching history like happen in front of my eyes, so I'm like,
yeah.
I wonder how this is going to play out low key. Like,
that's just wild.
It's
super wild. It's super wild. Okay. Yeah, I didn't go. I wasn't in town. Had I been in town, I wouldn't have gone. Simply because I feel the exact same way. I know what this is. You know, this is the pink pussy protest all over again. It's so many people are going because it's safe, it's fashionable, it's trendy. I can get my selfies in.
That's what I was saying earlier. Some people are not capable of, you know, participating in like certain on the ground tactics. You know, what they can do is push around in a safe environment like that, get a little rah-rah in, and that is good. But I'm saying that's not what, not fully what we need. We need that end.
We need that end. Yeah. There is a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not comfort, but solace in seeing that many people show up. So there was a protest that we did, my company did sound for earlier this year. And we were down at the waterfront, me and Kyle and Bree doing sound. And there was about maybe 1,000 people that showed up. Fine. But it was like a national day of protest, which I can't remember what it was. But I swear to God, 70-80% of that crowd, silver-haired white folk. And as I'm looking around, I'm like, God, I didn't know that many of you even cared. Like, cared in the way of at least share a similar perspective. Right? Because it's very easy to be faced with the microaggressions, the overt shit, and feel like, as a person of color, you kind of, you know, your day's a number. You're alone out here. At any given moment, any average white person can do you in.
Yes.
You know, call a cop, any stupid shit. But then to be surrounded by this many white people that at the very least don't like that guy.
That's true.
Oh, shit.
I also think it kind of makes, I would not be surprised if a lot of people felt validated seeing that other people also felt and feel that their government isn't representing them in like the way that they want to see change come about in the world, I guess.
Absolutely.
You know? So to pop out to when you're like, you know what, I am kind of frustrated about this enough to pop out, and then you do pop out and there's 50,000 people outside, you're like, oh, I'm not actually an outlier in this, you know, thing, even though my government is representing me in a different way, if that makes sense. Like, you know, it shouldn't represent the majority, but it's like choosing to say that we're okay with this or okay with that, and people are like, that's not me, and then they pop out and they're like, oh shit, nobody else thinks like that either, you know?
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. So we have a little bit of time before the break. I do want to make sure we get into the Native Land versus Joe podcast.
Yeah, we talked about that a little
Joe
bit.
Budden podcast. Real quick, you know, as we talked about Taylor Swift a little bit earlier, I think we can mention, guys, it's time to stop fucking with Spotify.
Oh yeah,
it's time to stop fucking with Spotify. We haven't been on Spotify in a long time, just because of the Joe Rogan shit. It was like we don't even want to share space with that podcast, so we haven't been on Spotify. Yeah. But right now, Spotify is running ICE recruitment ads,
just so insane,
which is wild.
I feel like for me, and I don't know if it's just for me in my head, for my entire life, and I think for a lot of people's lives that are alive right now, the worst thing you could think of is a specific group of people from a military group you may know of, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you think I'm a bad person? Well, relax. I'm not a, you know?
What, Nazi?
Yeah. And it's like, it's like now, I would not, like 20 years from now, I would not be surprised if somebody's like, whoa, chill, I'm not a fucking ICE agent. Like, relax. Right. You know, like, that's the caliber that they're like putting themselves into, bro. It's like, you're voluntarily signing up to be one of the like people that a lot of people are going to think are fucking terrible people for history, bro. Like, in the history books, they're going to be like, yeah, these were the worst kind of people. They fucking went to go round everybody up. Like, that's what you're signing up for. All because they were like, hey, those student debt loans.
Gone.
Like, you want a $60,000 bonus? Bam.
Bam.
We'll print the money for you right now.
Grandpa used to take us to Disney World all the time, bro. Killing it.
It's like,
he retired from being an ICE agent.
It's like sick. Like future generations, they're gonna be like, we don't really talk about grandpa like that.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, fuck, my grandpa died the other day and we had to clear out his house. Holy shit, you would not believe the shit we found in there.
You would not believe all the ICE shit we found in there.
They're literally gonna say that type of shit about this.
Wow.
Like, insane.
Yeah. So Spotify is running ICE ads. The way it sounds, they're obviously written by the administration and they are absurd, absurdly offensive to begin with. And that's just on top of the other things that they have going on, you know, investing in AI for defense contracts. And there was something else. I can't remember what country it was, but they threatened to remove Spotify from that country.
Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, here you guys are helping the people. Cut that shit out.
Yeah, you guys are doing too much to benefit the people there. You will lose Spotify. This will cost you Spotify.
We're losing members because people aren't suffering as much in your area. Cut that shit out.
Dude.
I will say this. Mm-hmm. Shout out Chance the Rapper, because if he did not do that 2-week exclusive of Coloring Book on Apple Music, I would not have Apple Music nor still have it to this day.
Wow. So I
feel like they're just a little bit too young for Chance, I guess. Like, they're just asking him questions, and I was like,
they're not asking the right questions?
He said, you ever heard Sunday Candy? And they said, no. I was like,
They are the youngest of bucks in podcasting. They really are.
But
I enjoy them. I subscribed, and then the more I listened to them, I was like, I can't really listen to them.
They're funny though.
They're hilarious, and they're great in clips.
Yeah.
But a whole podcast of them all fighting to talk over each other.
Yeah, I think that comes with practice though, probably. Like once they get it locked in though.
Definitely. But it's too much screaming over each other right now. For me. But like for the people that works for, absolutely check them out, because they're dope as hell.
And they like cover topics I think I would like hearing about.
Hell yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Okay. So depending where you are in your algorithm, this may or may not have come across your social medias, but
only parts of it came across mine.
Yeah. Mark Lamont Hill has been on the Joe Budden podcast for a while now. Mel is no longer there, and Mona has replaced her. But last week, Mark and one of the other co-hosts, Flip, got into it. A very heated exchange. And it seemed like part of the reason for that exchange was Flip feeling like Mark was always trying to talk down to them. And, he's this intellectual that's constantly trying to
using confusing words or whatever.
Tricky words.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah. And Mark was like, I don't use tricky words. They're just tricky to you.
Yeah. Which is so crazy. Like, I would crash out just over that too, bro. Like,
so it turned into a screaming match.
Somebody is not relaxing.
Yeah. It turned into a screaming match. MJ's in there?
Yeah.
It turned into a screaming match, and it looked like it was going to get physical.
Yeah,
because Flip stood up, and I remember what stuck out to me in that interaction was Mark saying, "Why are you standing?" Because you've communicated intent, and Mark, there was a point where he was definitely like, let's calm it down. Let's calm it down, like, where we are right now. We really need to be here right now. Like, let's,
He did try to bring it down.
He definitely did.
And then he was like,
and Flip stood up. At that point, it was game time.
Yeah.
It's game time. You standing up, you're trying to put me at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right? So now I need to stand up with you. So now that we're both standing, you've initiated this physical
We moved
situation.
the mics out the way.
Like, yeah, like, what are we doing? Are we or aren't we? You know what I'm saying? So
I was expecting like a no jumper situation, like someone to just start.
So, okay. Nothing happens. They quell it. They bring it back down. Everything's all good. And who was it? The Native Land podcast. First off, the internet was just like, oh shit, Mark went up. And a bunch of the people in my on threads that I'm in community with were like, Mark's from Philly. I don't know why y'all feel like this couldn't happen or why this is surprising. This is just a Philly type dude reaction to this shit. So Native Land podcast had some commentary about it. Native Land podcast is Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, Bakari Sellers, and Andrew Gillum. If those names sound familiar, you've seen them on lower thirds because they are frequently booked as commentators on CNN, MSNBC, things like that. Commentators and contributors. Tiffany had a show on MSNBC at one point.
That's just outside my age bracket. So
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And before I saw what they were saying about it, I came across a clip of Joe reacting to what they said about it. And Joe was basically like, y'all sitting here talking about Mark doesn't belong on this show. He's too intelligent to be, having conversations with us.
So insane.
Like, yeah. And he's like, first off, Mark got fired from CNN for being misunderstood from the point he was making about Palestine.
Yeah,
and he
said being too early on the Palestine view, because I feel like that point of view now people would be like,
yeah,
type shit,
right, revolutionary type shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, thank God there was a black media organization around to pick him up. And if you guys felt so strongly about your brother, why didn't you make space for him? Why didn't you, but now he's over here with us and y'all saying he's too good to be in community and conversation with us. So I was like, okay, this is fire. This is a fire reaction from Joe. I seldomly ever agree with Joe Budden on anything.
And how many of these people on the podcast are also people of color?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah. So I went today and I watched the podcast episode where they commented on it. And yeah, there's this really nasty divide that I was made aware of by FD Signifier. And he was talking about how, black and brown essayists kind of put themselves in this place online where we're talking about the issues that involve the entire black community, affect the entire black community, but our audience is either predominantly white or other black folk that are aware of the situation and listen to us. So there is that reassurance and camaraderie from other people of color. Like, yeah, I think the same thing too. I like listening to this guy, but that doesn't necessarily create any direct action.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was saying like, we have to find a way, whether it's change the 4 or 5 syllable words that we're using when we're having these conversations, or be in community and be in conversation with people that are younger and also maybe aren't as necessarily as, educated, college educated as we are. Yeah. They don't have all the degrees and shit, because these problems, they involve all of us, especially within the black community. They cross socioeconomic situations, barriers. And when I listened to the Native Land podcast episode, first off, 3 out of 4 of these people I don't fuck with. Like, to be honest, I've watched how they've conducted themselves in the media.
Yeah,
and it's just like, nah, y'all are bought. I'm cool. But some of the sentiments that were conveyed within that conversation is really is exactly what Joe Budden was saying. Like, y'all think y'all are better. Y'all think Mark is too good to be on this show. Yeah. When Mark chose this, and this is an environment where Mark gets to be another version of himself. He's not being outside of himself.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, it was no more apparent to me the way he went from 0 to to what appeared to be 0 to 60 in that conversation with Flip, that I'm like, yeah, this is definitely who Mark is. And their whole thing was, you know, oh, you pushed our brother too far. And
I think the discourse of like fucking business about black people's business when you're not black. And it is good to listen and to learn about that kind of stuff. But like who are you to say anything about the way that is run or who does what or anything, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So what I will say is that I would point to FD and like all his work, or even work that you and Morgan have done, to talk about the complexities of what I'm going to talk about, like in the black community. But what I can say specifically that I think I can relate to as a Latino, and that I've related to from that, is that motherfuckers cannot wait to be the rich white man. And I say this all the time. And it's like, it's something that happens in the Latino community as well. But I think that because of black people's history and connection to like the US specifically, it plays out in a different way, you know? And like, I think that that's a vibe that happens all over because of capitalism, where it's like, as soon as you start to get a little bit of what you would consider to be, you know, intelligence or like other stuff that can be like translated into money and monetary stuff, you know, you start to feel like you are better than another.
Absolutely.
And then that's when shit like even happens to begin with, even within people that look the same, you know, have the same environments growing up, you know, you start to get a little bit and you're like, I'm honestly the shit, bro. Like I did this shit and everybody else that looks like me, they did it because they're lazy.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like,
and also that puts you in a different space, right? That puts you in a different part of the atmosphere, in the way that I am that one black or brown person in the room with all the white people, and they come to me for my opinion.
I'm one of the good brown people. And it's like,
I'm one of the value.
You are a good person. Yes, you are a valuable person. Yes, but like as soon as you say one of the good ones, you're separating because there are bad ones. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think that I end up seeing that vibe a lot, if that makes sense. You know, like
Shout out to C's. He said intelligence or perceived intelligence is intimidating to some. And that's for sure. That's for sure. Like, even Flip being like, you know, you're always trying to like say slick shit, which in retrospect, Mark be saying slick shit a lot. Mark be saying slick shit a lot. But it wasn't so much about him saying slick shit because they all say slick shit.
Yeah.
It was very clear that he felt like Mark was either talking above his understanding.
I'm trying to big bro him.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, you know, he used just him saying you using tricky words.
Yeah.
Fam, alluding is not a tricky word. And if it is, this is you exposing an insecurity that you have around your level of intelligence. And that's something that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, let that shit ride. Like, you spend some more other time and to yourself and read some books or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like most shit can be boiled down to like either lack of information or lack of ability to like accept certain information.
Right.
You know? So like,
I
don't know. I try to be understanding, but I get where that comes from, you know?
Yeah.
Just in general. But as far as, I think that this concept is so complex specifically because of like the history that like the black community has with the US or whatever. And like,
absolutely.
As, like the othering within the own community, you know, it's like so heightened. I'm not sure why, or like what it is that motivates people to, as soon as they get a little bit of, not even just money, but like power and like other fields, like on a podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
They're quick to point down other people. Just people in general, but also people that look like you is crazy. Like,
certainly. I mean, the proximity to any level of power, whether it's, you know,
because power is like hierarchical.
Exactly.
And if you're up here, then somebody has to be
below. You don't get up there without having to oppress or beat down or, you know, vilify someone else. But that's a lot of internal work that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? I remember just over the last couple of years, with some of the impact I was able to have in the nonprofit space, right? I think a lot of that and why some of our relationships are still as solid as they are is because I never came into any of the situations or any of those dynamics like I'm better than anybody. It's always been, for me, how can I serve? In what way can I hook up your situation? What can I do to make this a little bit better? And not even so much better for both of us, but like, I got some shit over here. that it wouldn't kill me for me to give you access to this shit.
Right.
Come through. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been that, because in my mind, for me, it was like, if we're all doing better, then we're all doing better. And if I could alleviate stress or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of what Mark says on the show is par for the course in the way that everybody is taking shots. Everyone's doing the dozens. I think the issue is when you're outclassed, when someone's that much better than you at it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, I got a problem with the way you talking to me.
And that's what I'm saying.
We all talking crazy last time I checked.
Yeah, as a man, I would say specifically grown up in, whatever specific environment, you like result to certain things as like a backup when you're getting out intelligence.
Yes.
Or out like somebody smarter than you.
Yeah.
You know? And those things also happen to be fucked up mean shit,
Yeah.
where it's like, I make more money than you, or I get more women than you, or like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I think that it just seemed like that was what was going on, but his response wasn't to clap back with something else. It was like, oh, I'm going to get loud and potentially violent,
Right. Yeah.
Definitely killed the vibes.
It
Like
did.
people were scared in the room and shit too. I was like, whoa.
Shout out to AJ. She said, I'm so late. Thought y'all were still on break. Here's the thing, AJ. Do not worry about being late. We were having some technical issues earlier.
AJ,
you're actually right on time.
We can start from the beginning. From the top.
We're running all over. We're right at the top. Okay. We're going to head into a break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We are going to do a full hour after the break, you know what I'm saying, to go through some of these stories. And again, to compensate for some of the technical issues we're having. Yep. But everything seems a lot more steady now than it was before. So fingers crossed, So
you're not late, you're on time.
You're on time, actually, AJ. You're on time for the break. Cool. We will catch you guys in 10 minutes. All right. Okay. Man.
Anyways, yeah, that's why I think we should get rid of Morgan for real.
Oh, well,
And just
hot mic.
show.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
great to have you here.
What next topic?
Yes. OG Santos. Shout out to everybody in the chat still here.
What up, chat?
Again, really appreciate you guys sticking around for the technical difficulties. I am apologizing for anyone that is triggered by these technical difficulties that go back to the very early days of our broadcast. We have brand new equipment, but it's equipment that I need to obviously spend some more time with. I'm only spending time with this equipment once a week.
It's a trial run.
Yeah, it's a trial. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to take the video caster home and start streaming me gaming.
Okay.
And use that to test it. Yeah. What
Hey,
up, Lily?
Lily?
And use that and use that to test it, and see what I can figure out and see, what's happening.
All right. I'll tap into the stream.
Michelle said, never test our loyalty to Morgan. And you know what? Michelle, I appreciate that.
That's valid.
Because we all know who runs the show. We all know.
She's texting us from wherever she's at right now, running the show right now.
There have been many times when Morgan has been absent, whether it's migraine induced or not. And I've had people fill in, or I had to work solo on either the morning show or the Thursday morning show or the Monday night show. And there is always a significant difference in audience participation. So, yeah. Ooh, AJ, that's a great idea.
Can I pull up to that?
Hell yeah. We do some cooking with Am shit? Okay. All right. You know
Cooking
what?
with Am.
This is what I'm talking
Cooking
about.
with Am.
AJ with the production meetings. Yes. So I'm taking the video caster home. Taking the video caster home. I'm going to, figure out getting the PS5 through it.
Okay.
I normally would test it. Maybe I should.
What games are you playing?
Currently, I am playing Shadow of Mordor. I'm going back to finish that. I've just finished Ghost of Tsushima a couple of months ago. I think I'm gonna wait to get Ghost of Yote. And there was something. Yeah, and I think when I was kicking it with my nephews, one of them just started God of War Ragnarok,
great game,
which I've had for a while. I think I might jump on that real quick too.
Fire.
But I mean, what ends up happening? I got you on Atari joystick style. What ends up happening is I don't game a lot. Mm-hmm. So when I do have those periods, like I'm gaming a little bit every day, and then I don't play in a while, I forget all the controls and shit.
Yep. And
that muscle memory is gone, and it's like, I'm just gonna restart the game.
You got to try like a newer game, like Marvel Rivals or something like that.
I don't like to play games where there's other people. I don't.
Right.
I'm not.
It tells me about your skill level.
Yeah, no, for sure. Which I think will make a very interesting stream. People watching me walk off of cliffs and shit like that. Fair. And I was dealing with stick drift for a little while too. So I went back to PS4, which I had no issue with my stick drift there. But then I just bought the PS5 controller. Okay, but later for that. But yes. I'm gonna do some more streaming, and I'll probably do that on my Twitch. I'll probably do it on my Twitch. I guess do some DJ shit from there too. Either way, we're gonna test this equipment and get this figured out.
I feel like DJ shit would be fun.
Yeah, but shout out to Jess, always, the man behind the scene, working it out in Slack. Shout out to Michelle. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be seeing her in the chat, but Michelle's also in the Slack, and she's letting us know what's happening real time
in the Slack and the chat.
In the Slack and the chat. You know what I'm saying? So don't think there's anywhere Michelle's not on you, figuring it out.
Do you ever get nervous nowadays, like just saying things?
Like what?
Just like in general, I feel like when I put things out on audio file, it's like, oh, the government knows I said that now.
So it's funny that you said that because,
by the way, we love Israel. Just in case somebody's going through here.
All right. Somebody cracked the joke 2 weeks ago when we were down and it was doing this foolishness. Somebody on Facebook was like, you guys have been raptured. And then someone else was like, yeah, the government is shutting y'all down. That's what's happening. The government is just continuously yanking your feed down.
They said, oh, we know what's going on here.
And that popped in my head during the break. Like, yo, what's really funny is that actually could be happening.
Yeah.
Primarily because the access that they now have, not just the access that they now have,
dude,
they've always had access, right? It's a desire and intent of this current administration.
What they're looking for right now, yeah.
So it's like, ooh.
Me and my friend be making jokes about that though. Like he like used to work for the army, and we'll like talk about the current state of the world or whatever, about politics, specifically about Israel, and he'll be like, all right, hold on. Yeah, we love Israel so much, and he'll put his phone away. He'll be like, anyways.
But that's literally the police state that we're in right now, dude. To the point where this administration is so petty and wants to control so much that they could have Palantir?
Yeah,
Palantir, or many of the other agencies they're working with. Like, hey, could you set up an algorithm that polices different people's live streams, and if it hears a certain word, it drops them? We just want to see. We just want to test that out.
Just try it out. You know what they can't control though?
What?
George Soros.
Listen,
that motherfucker says whatever he wants.
George, come through. D, we've been talking to
Wait, that's the guy that's Jewish, right?
Yeah. That's OG Santos.
Oh,
that's George Santos.
That's George Santos.
Yes, I like the segue. George Soros is who we want to be our benefactor. He is the one that.
George Soros. He paid me to go to the protest.
He paid you to go to the protest because all the signs look the same. He paid to get those printed. That's who we're looking for.
Hit my checking account fast as hell.
You know what I'm saying?
Deposit.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know.
George Soros. So, George Santos. Thank you so much.
Control that motherfucker.
They can't. They can't. Listen, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I feel weird. I feel weird having the same vibe I had for George Santos before, like him being my OG in in scandal and corruption and scammery
and scam.
Primarily because of his relationship with Trump.
And
I didn't expect him to get out.
Right.
I didn't expect him to get released early. I didn't expect Trump to get involved. So it made it safe to be like, this is my OG and crack all these jokes. But he is out here. Former U.S. Rep George Santos said His 84 days behind bars were, quote, a very large slice of humble pie.
Bro, put some time in.
Listen, when he come out buff.
He probably did.
But he brushed off criticism of President Donald Trump's decision to commute his 7-year sentence for fraud and identity theft. In a CNN interview Sunday, Santos dismissed what he called the pearl clutching from both Republicans and Democrats who argued that justice was not served. He said it is known that presidents have the power of the pardon and the clemency, which are plenary, he said. Santos, who pled guilty last year to defrauding political donors and falsifying campaign finance reports, served just under 3 months in federal prison before Trump commuted his sentence last week. Some New York Republicans condemned the move, noting that Santos has not repaid victims or shown remorse. The former congressman, however, said he is focused on rebuilding his life and his reputation.
This is why people grift to the right.
Yeah.
Because you can just do like fuck shit and then they're like, hey, bro, hey, cut it out.
Come on.
It's like, hey, come on. You got us. But stop.
I think he's learned a lesson.
He learned
he won't do it again.
No, but he was really sorry though.
Yeah.
So
when he was asked whether he would repay donors he had defrauded, Santos was non-committal.
But he inside he was sorry though.
Yes. He said, I can do my best to do whatever the law requires of me, he said.
Whatever the law requires of me.
If it is required of me by the law, yes. If it is not, then no. The remarks drew swift backlash from critics who said Santos continues to evade accountability for his crimes. I'm going to stop here.
I'm going to say he's keeping it a buck though.
This is what I'm saying.
Because he's like, everybody else gets one over on y'all anyways. Like, why can't I just like also do that? Like,
this is what gives him original gangster status. Man said, I'll do my best to do whatever the law requires of me. If it is required of me by the law, yes. If it is not, then no. Then no. I'm not going to.
They said, are you going to be a good person? And he turned to his lawyer. He's like, I got to do that?
Is it required? Do I really got to do that shit?
I don't think so.
Nah, bro. Nah. No. Where are we at? No. The remarks drew swift backlash, yes. Still, Santos insisted that his time in prison gave him new insight into the justice system, calling it a broken institution that fuels rather than prevents repeat offenses. Prison is not rehabilitating anybody, he said.
Dude.
I told this to the president. I'd love to be involved with prison reform.
Dude.
In a real human way. So we have a better system with less incarcerated people.
This makes me so upset, Morgan. I can already feel you fuming to the other side of this because, bro, so many, specifically men of color and people of color go through this system and get fucked for life, bro. Like, for life. It just makes everything so fucking hard after that. Forever, essentially, bro.
Yeah.
Like, everything's pitted against you, waiting for you to fail again. And this motherfucker can just do a couple days in prison and be like, by the way, my book's gonna come out eventually, so you have to keep it out. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how, dude? It's so insane. It just really just proves the law is like only for certain people.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Justice.
I mean, to have George Santos involved with prison reform,
dude,
is just him communicating where next he wants his nonprofit check to come from.
Yeah, bro.
Period. He's gonna do fundraisers on behalf of raising awareness around prison reform. As someone who was freshly incarcerated.
No, it's so insane.
He's a star.
He's like, you know what? While I got in trouble for grifting over here, I was over here in this other system, and I was realizing there's a lot of opportunity to grift in there too. He's like, so that might be the next place for me.
You guys, he is a star. He's a rising star.
He's already a star.
Yeah, but I think he's got so much more to go. Oh, yeah, he's still rising. Yeah. We're catching him on the upswing. He hasn't hit Dancing with the Stars yet.
I feel like I would watch that. That shit would be funny, bro. Conservatives can't really do like. Is he considered a conservative? I guess.
He's definitely a conservative.
Yeah, conservatives don't really got like moves like that. So
I want to catch the second interview with Z-Way. There's no way she's not going to get another interview with him. She has to. And we need the Z-Way interview first.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's such a funny character.
Oh, my God.
It just makes me think like that type of shit. You see it and you're like, is politics real, bro? Like,
no.
We gave this dude people gave this dude a platform to say some shit. And we're all talking about it right now on the news too. Like,
right. He shouldn't have been able to make it into office with the amount of lies that he told.
Just blatant lies. Yeah. Too, like straight lies.
Right. And when the shit finally came to the surface, it was like, wait, did anyone research this guy?
Yeah.
Everything he lied about was just so easy to find.
What it reminds me of? Remember when that lady was doing the like sign language for the police thing, but was not doing sign language?
Right.
Like that, bro. Like nobody checked if she actually knew how to do sign language. Like
while she was doing it, nobody in the crowd was like, there's nothing happening to the left of the podium. This is all bullshit. Type. Yeah. So
interesting character.
Man's is good with Trump. You know, Trump hooks him up. I definitely feel like this is a sign of things to come for Diddy.
So insane.
Diddy's definitely going to be.
I also want to say if Diddy does that and that does work for him, like I've been saying this, but I'm on every rapper's ass who took a photo with Donald Trump. Fuck you. You know who that means too. I know y'all be playing Lil Wayne all the time and shit. No, I seen that photo right next to Donald Trump. I seen him.
Oh yeah.
He got pardoned. He
got pardoned.
I was just telling Morgan. I was like, we're 10 toes. We fucking hate Donald Trump and anybody that's standing next to him for a picture. Bro.
Yeah.
Was Ice Cube next to him too?
Definitely.
We on his ass.
Ice Cube was definitely like.
I remember all that. Like
I met with Trump, and you can't be falling in line behind the Democrats. The list of people that I don't fuck with because of Trump. It's like I think it's at least like 10 rappers.
If you were doing that pre-20, you have up until 2017. If you were doing anything with Donald Trump post 2017,
you wild. You're wild. Yeah,
you're a weirdo.
Yeah, fucking Benny the Butcher.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking Benny. I was like, word.
There's like Puerto Rican rappers and shit that were like, oh yeah, we love Trump. They do not fuck with them in Puerto Rico now, bro.
Good.
They hate that, bro.
Like, out of here. You're an idiot.
Lame.
You're an idiot. You do not deserve my dollars. I'm not spending anything with you. At all. At all. That's what we feel. That's how we feel.
Boo.
While we're on Trump still.
Yeah.
You know? The appeals court temporarily lifts the ban on Trump's authority over Oregon National Guard. So, federal appeals court on Monday partially sided with President Trump on his effort to take command of 200 Oregon National Guard troops, putting on hold a lower court ruling that had barred him from doing so. However, Trump remains prohibited from deploying the troops for now. The 2-1 decision from a panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals came after the Justice Department challenged a temporary restraining order issued earlier this month by U.S. District Judge Karen Emmergut. That order prevented Trump from federalizing the troops to send them to Portland amid ongoing protests outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement building. The appeals court majority, Trump appointees Ryan Nelson and Bridget Bade, said the president was likely to succeed on his claim that he had the authority to federalize the Guard if he determined he could not enforce federal laws without them. Emmergut, however, had also issued a second restraining order prohibiting Trump from deploying National Guard troops to Oregon in any capacity after the president reportedly tried to sidestep the first ruling by sending California troops instead. That second order remains in effect, meaning no troops can be deployed to Oregon until further court action. The Justice Department said it will now seek to have that order dissolved, arguing that courts should not second-guess the president's national security judgments. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield criticized the appeals court ruling, warning that it grants the president near unchecked authority over state military resources. Today's ruling, if allowed to stand, would give the president unilateral power to put Oregon soldiers on our streets with almost no justification, Rayfield said. We're on a dangerous path in America. Judge Susan Graber, Clinton appointee, dissented from the Ninth Circuit's decision, writing that the administration's claims about Portland being lawless were untethered to reality. She pointed out that no significant disruptions to law enforcement had occurred in the weeks preceding Trump's order. It is hard to understand how a tiny protest causing no disruptions could possibly satisfy the standard that the president is unable to execute the laws, she wrote. The administration has maintained that the troops are needed to protect federal property and assist with immigration enforcement. But for now, Portland remains troop-free as the legal battle continues. Have you been seeing any local discourse a conversation around people wanting the troops to be here? Have you seen any of that online?
The only stuff that I saw was Channel 5 just put out like a video on the situation in Portland, and there was like a couple people that they got to interview that were kind of giving that sentiment of being like, can't wait till the military comes in and gets these like losers out of here type vibe.
And what were they looking for the military to do precisely?
Dude, that's like my biggest question in all of this is like, what does that look like?
Right.
Like, what does it look like if you live here, you know what the situation at the ice building looks like.
Right.
So it's like, what does National Guardsmen there do? You know?
Right.
Like they're gonna have more people to then drag people inside type shit. Like I don't understand.
Exactly.
Are they gonna patrol the streets? Like I don't.
So that's what's interesting. So one of the local grifters, PDX Real, Angela Todd, put up a post saying the Ninth Circuit Court has ruled that the president does have lawful authority to deploy federal forces, including the National Guard, to protect federal property and personnel when local leaders fail to act. So,
but it's like, what is failing to act? Like
failing to act to do what?
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
so the conversation that she's been having on her feed had been people, her followers, saying, yeah, we want the National Guard to get here to address all the issues that Portland is struggling with. And the issues that they are saying are overdoses and crime and human trafficking and our downtowns being, overrun by houseless people.
Bro, it's
Here's the thing, though. That's not what the fuck the National Guard's here for. They're going to be here to protect the ice building.
Yeah. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
In the process, they're going to crack some skulls because that's what Trump wants.
They already are doing that, though. That's why I'm saying it's like there is no, like, having more troops here or different kinds of troops here doesn't change the reality of the situation on the ground. Like, it's still going to be the same.
It won't.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, what?
No. It won't be the same.
What do you mean?
Once the additional troops are here, that's going to bring in the additional right-wing agitators.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing that I say is that it creates a space for people like bad actors to agitate in a way that's like...
Which is what they've wanted from day one. So Pam Bondi going on record saying that the frog costumes are now considered Antifa costumes. That was purposeful because they've already identified Antifa as a terrorist group.
Yeah, but Antifa is not an organized
Again, here you go with your reality shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you what the administration said.
I will say this.
But yeah.
I will say this. Outside of the news with my fiance, this is a Carlos Cortez opinion only. This opinion will not reflect the views of News My Fiance. If you are profiting off of making Portland look bad and making...
Kevin Dahlgren.
I guess.
Yeah.
If you're profiting off that and you are like making it so that resources are getting put into the dumbest shit, like getting this type of shit to come to our city instead of like other resources that could actually change your material reality also, fuck you. That is all.
All right, put me back on camera. I fully endorse this message. I fully endorse this message.
It's just like you're fucking shit up for yourself too. It's like what I don't understand why you would not want your own environment to also improve.
So here's the fucked up part, right? The majority of the people that benefit or try to benefit off of all of the negative,
don't even stay out here.
They don't fucking live here, and now they're attracting more right wing influencers who are catching flights to get here to make shit even worse.
But that's another thing that I noticed in the Channel 5 coverage is that there were people there being like, plug. There were people being like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Right. Like right-wing people being like, yo, they just took my homie. Like we came here to bully you guys and they took my boy, you know? Like, and he's like, he wasn't doing anything. They're like,
that's the point we're trying to make here, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's so interesting because it's like there is a truth to the fact that there are certain problems, especially in a major city. So it's like, if you want to talk about those things, we can talk about them in a way that's going to like bring the proper discourse around and like be like, what's the solution to this? That kind of stuff, you know?
Right.
But just focusing on things being bad because they're bad is like so lame to me. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting way to like make money and to like profit off of.
Oh, 100%.
Insane.
Michelle says National Guard legally would not be patrolling the streets, but they will be deployed to protect federal property and agents. So really, most likely, it'll look like LA.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it's fucking one block, like where the building is at.
And on some real shit.
It's like, bro, what?
The type of opposition that ICE agents face in the street in the process of doing their job, it's not like in other cities. They're not out here fighting the ICE agents. Yeah. What's happening in Portland is people are driving behind the ICE agents and honking their horn and alerting people that this is an ICE agent in front of us. But what happens is you bring in the military, you bring in more forces. These people are primed. They are ready. They're on their Call of Duty shit. So they're going to create situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
period.
Agitate for sure.
Yeah, they're going to agitate that shit.
Nah, I saw what Homeland Security was saying about those kids. Like that TikTok, you saw that?
No.
Dude, a couple like of teenagers, like there's a TikTok going around. I don't know. I saw something about it, how maybe the footage was like from an older TikTok that they re-put another text over, but the text said like,
oh yeah,
when we hear that like the cartel has like money to give out to people that take out ICE agents or whatever.
I did see that.
And then the like Homeland Security was like literally targeting them shit.
Yeah,
dude,
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Like, we literally live in a world where that type of shit is normal, bro.
Yeah, not only with that type of shit is normal, but also the administration is participating in digital propaganda, right? Dude. And stoking things. So I'm sure you saw that that meme that Trump posted where he's like a fighter pilot or some shit,
dropping shit on people. Dude, what the fuck? That's actually our president, bro. Like,
this is our president.
What a fucking fever dream we're in. Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
What
a fever dream we're in, bro. Like, oh my goodness.
Repeat. What a fucking fever dream.
Like, sometimes I'm like watching stuff happen, and I'm like, I honestly would see the craziest shit happening. Like, it's just like, yeah, pipe.
Yeah,
that makes sense for our
current timeline.
Where are we on 617? 616? Like,
where are we at? Are we the 616 or the 838? Where are we
on
right
the 838? That makes sense. You know, type shit. Like,
no, real shit,
bro.
Nothing surprises me.
It's so
Nothing
crazy.
surprises
That's what I was
me.
saying earlier about like watching history. You know, where I'm like, some stuff is surprising me, but it's like scary. But more than scary, it's like, oh shit! Like, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Right. So, you know? I mean, and part of it too is what media has been able, and then I'm talking like, you know, Hollywood, where they've been able to give us as entertainment. In some ways, it kind of dulls the impact of watching this shit happen in real life. So having people show up to protest dressed as maidens from Handmaid's Tale, it's like, oh man, you really get it. But if you really get it, just give me a camera. If you really get it, wouldn't you be moving to Canada right now?
Oh my God, wait, I have something I want to talk about. I was having, okay, you can give us a big camera. Wide angle. Production. Okay. I was at the coffee shop, which I go to every morning. Shout out Dead Stock Coffee.
Okay.
Some people came in.
The homies.
And they go, oh yeah, like, blah, blah, blah. We have this connection to Dead Stock or whatever. We haven't been here in a while. We just wanted to come by because we're fleeing America today.
Wait, are you fucking kidding me?
Word for word said fleeing America. And
what was the nationality of these people?
My brother, these are prime Aryan race looking motherfuckers, bro. And they're like, yeah, we're running away to Canada. They said fleeing specifically.
Right.
And I was like, dude. It just like had all, like the discourse just started in my brain so much. I was like, this is just so weird coming from you guys, but also like I hear you, but also like, holy shit, you're coming from a place of privilege to be able to do that. But also it's like,
privilege.
if I could, I probably would too. And it's like, dude, it was just so weird coming out of their mouths. And I was like,
what the fuck?
I was like, wait, what?
What are you fleeing? Yeah,
I was like, even if shit went to the worst of worst, I'm pretty sure y'all are safe. I was like, y'all are good, I think.
I feel like y'all might could work out.
Yeah, but they were like, we're up and out of here because you know why. And I was like, damn. I was like,
you're like, yeah, I do know why.
I know why. And very interesting if you ought to say it like that, just to phrase it like, oh, we're fleeing for our lives type shit.
Holy shit. We're fleeing America.
We're fleeing from Portland, Oregon. Y'all heard it here first.
Wow.
The white people are fleeing. Run.
So like real shit though. Like, I see like situations like this playing out, right? And I've been telling like all my homies and shit. Like, I want to say during Trump's first presidency, when we were dealing with COVID, and was giving that terrible advice, I was like, I need all y'all to start watching The Walking Dead. If you haven't watched The Walking Dead, I need you to watch The Walking Dead. It's not about zombies. It's about people being in a pressure cooker and the things they will do to each other to survive. And I need you to understand how desperate people will be. Because when COVID happened and the supermarket, the lines were all crazy. This is happening during a time when people were losing their resources, losing their jobs. And I remember saying to MJ, a very real thing could be us walking with a shopping cart to the van and someone pulls up and it's like, nah, bro. And just pulls a gun out. I'm like, thank you for shopping for us. And I can't feel some type of way after we spend all this time talking about the ills of the world. When people, this person that could be robbing us could be a family of 6.
Yeah.
They could be living out of their van. Why wouldn't I expect that shit? You know what I'm saying? Why? So it's like at some point, I think I got really pissed, especially with the media during Trump's first administration. And I will admit, there was just like a lot of like sticker shock of 1, he's the president. 2, he's doing all of this shit that like no one's ever done. What? And then during Biden's administration, which was Trump's second administration, he was still getting so much shit done in preparation for getting back in power. Yeah. And there was this huge sense of urgency around, even, from the Democrats, saying that this will him being back in power will fundamentally change the United States. It will be the end of democracy. But then we had Project 2025 come out. The playbook was there. They pretty much were like, yeah, Democrats, you're right. Yeah. We're changing this whole shit. And then it wasn't more than a campaign tactic. It was like, if y'all want us to take what you're saying seriously, why aren't you giving me a strategy to not only defeat it, but how we need to make it through this shit? I remember when I became really, really aware about climate change and the impact that it was going to have on us for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. And I didn't hear any politicians talking about it. And it made me want to not vote, because it was like, everything you're talking about, 1, is super short term. 2, if you don't understand that the things you want us to care about won't matter because we the window of us being able to make any change is slowly closing. And it's closing slowly at a pace that people, like that analogy of like, lobsters in a pot and you turn it up slow. Yeah. And they don't realize they're getting cooked. Cooking, Like that shit's it's happening.
I think that is true. The window is closing, but I will say also that unfortunately and fortunately, because I think that it would be both. That type of like depravity or like that type of like need is what will motivate a revolution. So
going back to that, either 28 days or 100 years.
Yeah, not even just that, but it's like I think a 28-day revolution can happen if you don't eat for 28 days. Like if you don't have food for 28 days straight, it's going to motivate a lot of people to get outside and do something about it. It's like
I think you're right. My fear is that if you don't eat for 28 days, you're going to look at the people around you.
I know that's what I'm saying. I feel like
as targets.
It's bad because, 1, capitalism in general and the way that we built our society makes us individualistic and makes us turn on each other first before the system. Right?
Exactly.
So like that could be bad, but if we have the right leadership, and like I was saying, for the last 100 years, we've been pushing the vibe of, if we wanted to, we could really flip this bitch and just take over. Do
you think we've been pushing that?
I don't think we have enough.
Yeah.
I don't think we have, like we were just talking about earlier, in a normal way. That was always like a fringe ass topic or like a fringe ass point of view. And it's like when you have normal people that are, your coworkers at work and shit like that telling you shit like, have you ever thought about like what it would look like to have a revolution in our country? Like shit like that, that's when shit becomes a little bit more normalized. And then when we come into that area where we're like, yo, shit is really bad, you know, then I think more people could be like, hey, I remember we talked about this revolution shit. Like, maybe we pull something like that off, you know? But I don't think that the current situation, even though it is bad, is enough to motivate people to join together and bypass all this other shit that divides them.
Nah, I'm with you on that. I don't see what people are experiencing right now as a unifying factor.
That's why I say it's such an interesting time that we're in, because it's like we're seeing such drastic change, but it's like not. It's like so much, but not enough still.
The goalpost keeps moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very easy for people to distance themselves from the impact of others when they're not being directly affected.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So much constant propaganda all the time.
And they can't even put themselves in that other person's shoes. Yeah. Because a lot of the time it's being spent on just surviving what is our life. Yeah. Then now you want me to consider what someone else is going through?
Yeah, everything else around you is telling you to be individualistic also. So it's like, and that's the way you succeed, and that's the way, you know,
right.
Like,
right. So yeah, man. That's where the fuck we at with it.
Which is so crazy.
All right. Bro. We got time for one more story. Do you want to do the Amazon story or
I didn't really hear about the Amazon thing.
Or the CDC shit?
Let's do the CDC since we're just talking about zombies and shit.
Okay. All right. You guys, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention was forced to cancel nearly all of its participation at a key infectious disease conference this week because of the ongoing government shutdown, leaving a void at the nation's largest gathering for epidemiologists and disease researchers. The absence of the CDC scientists from the ID Week conference comes as the U.S. faces a resurgence of measles and whooping cough. I think consumption will be on the rise next. And ongoing concern.
Dysentery after that one.
Dysentery, yes. And gout, as we were talking about earlier.
Gout, yeah.
And ongoing concerns about global health threats, including bird flu and antibiotic-resistant infections. ID Week, hosted this year in Atlanta, home to the CDC's headquarters, typically draws dozens of CDC researchers who present new findings and lead discussions on outbreak response. But of the hundreds of speakers listed in this year's program, only about 10 were affiliated with the CDC and none appeared. Federal employees are barred from attending conferences during the shutdown unless the participation is funded by outside sources, as they are currently unpaid. As things started to evolve, they said they no longer would be able to attend, said Dr. Doi, a University of Pittsburgh's researcher who helped organize the event. The CDC's absence is particularly striking as the U.S. grapples with multiple public health challenges. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a longtime vaccine skeptic appointed by Trump to oversee the nation's health agencies. He said he wants the CDC to focus narrowly on infectious diseases. Meanwhile, the agency has lost roughly a quarter of its workforce in recent years through layoffs, buyouts, and resignations, and faces further cuts that a federal judge has temporarily halted. It's the most painful irony of all, said Dr. Michael Osterholm, a University of Minnesota infectious disease expert who spoke at the conference. Osterholm announced two initiatives to fill the gap left by the CDC's curtailed work: a new open access publication called Public Health Alerts to replace the agency's long-running morbidity and mortality weekly report, and a coalition of private foundations to fund stalled disease research. This is not business as usual anymore, but it doesn't mean that we have to sit back and take it, he said. Former CDC Chief Medical Officer Dr. Deborah Howery said the administration's strained relationship with medical organizations, such as the Infectious Disease Society of America, may have discouraged federal participation. One CDC scientist, Dr. Anna Yousaf, said she was barred from presenting research on long-term COVID-19 complications in children, calling the restrictions insane. Speaking while furloughed, she said, "It appears to me that HHS's goal is to prevent the dissemination of scientific information." The conference continued without the CDC, but for many attendees, its absence was a stark reminder of how political turmoil is now impeding America's public health leadership.
Type. Wait, who is this in the chat?
That's Michelle.
Michelle. Yes. Michelle, we're not going to skip past you saying helping people and connecting people, or what? Helping people and connecting people are more radicalizing than conditions getting worse. Yes, I agree. I think that's part of the 100 years of like connecting people and showing people shit is cool.
Yeah.
But also, she said also, honestly, I have bad news for you about how important the CDC has been in preventing the spread of tuberculosis/consumption in the U.S. over our lifetimes. You know what I feel like this like...
I'm going to have a Jamaican jerk chip.
What this government of ours has like locked in on doing over the past couple of years is like telling people that like specialize in something to like shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
They're like, hey, listen, I know about health stuff, okay? And they're like, wait, but this guy over here has been literally studying it for like 40, 50, 60 years at this point, and they said this. And they're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, like, I've never even heard of this guy.
Like, that's not me, though. That's not me talking, and I just said this. Did you not just hear me say that?
I've never even heard of this guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, RFK will just be like, yeah, no.
Hegseth said in his address to the generals and shit, he was like, yeah, man, we can't have like fat, sloppy generals, yeah? Like, everyone needs to be in shape. They need to look like warriors, basically. Mm-hmm. Mans can't do pull-ups. Mans can't do pull-ups, bro. And it was just like, these are generals.
Doug.
Do you think they're actively in the field? Why do they need to be in shape? They've done their time out there. You know what I'm saying? It's their time to be now home or at the office calling the fucking shots.
Yeah. No, but
at base camp calling fucking shots.
But we've decided that seniority and like experiencing things doesn't actually mean shit. So
right,
it just goes with what we decide.
So I've been covering some of this stuff with the Ask a Black Doctor podcast. We're in our third season, and some of the different changes RFK has made, people aren't even aware of the impact yet. Like, vaccine access is about to change drastically.
Dude, this is what I was just having a conversation with somebody about this. I don't think people understand, like, yes, things are affected quickly and locally. Like, sometimes, you know, like in a 4-year presidency, you can see some of that change and be like, oh, this changed and this affected my life in this way. There are other sections of like where the U.S. has its fingers in that will not recover from this type of shit anytime soon.
There it is.
Like, it will be suffering for a really long time because of the decisions that they're making, like in our government. You know,
yeah.
Like one place that comes to mind specifically is Puerto Rico. Like the shit that they're implementing in Puerto Rico is gonna be a problem for Puerto Rico way after Donald Trump. You know?
Give me an example.
Like, for example, they just like they're trying to like pass some like anti-transparency laws right now about shit like
about
that.
What happens there.
Yeah, just like what goes on there, like what the FBI does there, like what like our government does there in general, like just shit in general, bro. Like there's like a committee that essentially makes decisions about Puerto Rico or whatever, and all those people are chosen and implemented by Trump essentially right now. So it's like they're extensions of our power that reach out into other areas of the world that will be fucked for so long because of the shit that we're doing. Not even just our own home, like in our own homes and towns and shit like that, you know? Because that's where we'll see change, too. But like other places trickle down farther. So like something done today by Trump's government will be fucking shit up for like 8-9 years. At this point, you know? Like,
yeah. And it's really easy unfortunately, it's really easy for Puerto Rico to bear the brunt of the experimentation that this administration wants to do because so many people, so many citizens do not understand Puerto Rico as the U.S. And those that do understand would prefer that it wasn't considered part of the U.S.
Puerto Rico is the prime example of where like the Trump administration tries out shit of being like, hey, we're just going to fucking do this. Yeah. And you guys are just going to like it.
And if you don't, it's kind of what we're going for. Good place to test it. Yeah. You know. No, we'll try it in Hawaii next. Like,
not to get too much into that, but so much like stuff has been like Puerto Rico has been used as like a testing ground for so many things, bro. Specifically like the CIA, like the FBI, like a lot of shit, bro.
Dude.
Insane stuff.
And I'm curious about how many other cities this has happened in. So Chester, PA that's my hometown. It's like 10 minutes outside of, no, it's about 15 minutes outside of Philadelphia, 5 minutes from New Jersey, and depending where you are in Chester, 7 minutes from Delaware. Like we're positioned, right? Kamal Bell did during his show that he had on HBO where he was going to different states talking about different things that were happening. He stopped in Chester because we are like in the top 5 list of cities that deal with environmental racism nationally. Crime there, it's 7 square miles. And there's like 3 or 4 trash to steam plants. There's no grocery store in Chester. Yeah, there's like at the time that I grew up there is about I think 6 or 7 projects, and we were down the street from a Boeing facility, BP Oil the other direction, Scott Paper over here. So the fumes and everything from that level of production, and then no one from Chester was working at these places either, or very few people. Like it was to the point where if you weren't registered Republican, you were not getting hired at these places. That's so crazy. So I used to live on Highland Avenue, which was 3 blocks down from the Highland Gardens, 2 blocks down from the Highland Garden projects. These projects were huge on the west side of Chester. And I remember there were some renovations that were being done. So they put up some gates around them to keep people from going in and out of it. But people are still going to cut through it to get wherever they want to go. As a matter of fact, I was 1 block down. I forgot on this side of the street. So it might have been like 1 o'clock in the morning. We are hearing what sounds like, and I have no other way to describe it because I'd never heard it before, but it sounded like tank artillery. It sounded like small explosions. What the fuck? I'm in my house. The entire house is shaking from the shit that's happening a block away. I've been around shootouts. Yeah. There are no guns that we have access
to. That's like
a
car blowing up type shit. Yeah,
exactly. And this shit went on for like half an hour. And then we started seeing like troops leaving, helicopters and shit. And we were like, what was going on? This was between 2000 and 2004. It was that early in that time period. Mm-hmm. They were running
drills. Crazy.
They were running drills in a heavily populated black area in a project that had nothing but a fence up in between us and them. People could have been in there sleeping, just walking through. Any random kids just kicking it in there. Like, that's what they were doing in a fucking urban area.
When they give that little of a shit, I don't know why it's so crazy for people to be like, the U.S. bombed its own people and shit like that. It's like, yeah, we do fuck shit to our own people all the time.
That shit happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Right.
Insane.
I don't know what, like, I'd forgotten that happened. And I don't know what you said that just brought that back.
Oh, we were talking about Puerto Rico and like trial grounds and shit.
Right.
Dude, in Puerto Rico, if I understand correctly from what I read, they were using radiation to torture people in the prisons.
What?
And this radiation torture that they were doing on them is what like led us to have like machines that have radiation in them now. That like MRI machines.
Oh,
like
to
that,
test the
they were like testing the limits of the human body with radiation and shit like that.
Holy shit.
Like that type of shit was going on over there. And that's in Puerto Rico. This is the US already owns Puerto Rico at this point. They were also trying shit like they were forcefully sterilizing women in Puerto Rico without their knowledge because they were trial running like birth control medication.
Sounds about right.
Like if you think the U.S. has done some crazy shit to other people outside of the U.S., wait till you hear about the people in the U.S. too.
Right, right.
But as far as the CDC stuff goes, it's just like so interesting now that like being an expert in something doesn't mean shit
at all. No,
at least not in the U.S.
Yeah,
Like, they just don't care. They're just like, no, but you're not saying what I want to hear, though. So, like, we're just going to ask somebody else.
So I got the date wrong. I just Googled it real quick, and there's like people reporting on this shit. So this happened in 1999.
99.
Urban warfare in Chester, PA. Someone said, I heard of the explosive demolition of vacant public housing, and I've seen military exercises in urban warfare. But what happened in Chester, Pennsylvania this week came as a surprise to me, and more important, it shocked local residents and officials. The Philadelphia Inquirer, May 18, 1999, reports 100 Army Special Operations troops descended on 2 vacant public housing complexes in 3 training exercises that terrified nearby residents and surprised even the housing director.
So insane.
Our neighbor said there was a whole lot of noise, like bombs exploding and people shooting off automatic weapons. It really had the kids scared. I would have thought they would have picked a better place, given the high concentration of locally undesirable land uses, incinerators, etc. In the predominantly African-American community, the Army probably thought it had found a place where people wouldn't be able to complain effectively. Yeah. Real fucking deal. 1999 in Chester.
And also, chat, this is before they started saying the quiet part out loud.
Right.
So now they're just saying it with their whole chest. So it's like, don't be surprised about anything. Like,
oh my God. Woo. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle, for bringing up the move bombing. Yeah. It was I was definitely around and watching the news while that shit was happening. And because I was so young, I didn't have any time in Philly, running the streets of that. I wasn't off the porch yet.
Yep.
So Philly was a place that our parents took us to do certain things and hang out with certain, family members and different events and shit. So it kind of felt a world away, but close at the same time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started running the streets in Philly, going to Osage Avenue and seeing how the area, the neighborhood was rebuilt, that I was like, oh shit, these houses look newer than the other houses because this whole block was obliterated.
Crazy.
That's fucking wild.
Insane.
Yeah, insane. Okay, you guys, thank you for kicking it with us. Again, appreciate you sticking through any of the technical foolishness we're still working out. Really, really grateful for you being able to hop on.
I appreciate you for having me.
A last minute call in.
I just said yes right away, chat.
Did. So quick. All of this in service, MJ having some time off.
Yes.
MJ and Lily having some time off. You know what I'm saying?
I know. If some of y'all saw Morgan in the chat, she was not taking as much time off as we would hope.
No, she nor Lily. But I have faith that we have been enough of a distraction, and maybe they're off doing something else.
Hopefully.
But that was another News of My Fiance Monday Night Raw, live in person, live raw in the books. Thank you for spending quality time with us. This episode was made possible by our production crew, Kyle G of Residual Audio, Jess Ross. Shout out to our studio sponsors, L&J Industries, for providing this dope space each and every week. And of course, big thanks to y'all for watching, listening, and staying engaged with us. Stay engaged with us all week. You can follow us on IG at News of My Fiance. You can follow me at ScanBeezy. And where can they follow Carlos?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Carlos Andres Cortez _ It's right here.
Yeah. It's over there.
I post pretty frequently, and I've been working on some bigger photo projects that I would like to get a lot of attention towards. So, yeah, check me out. Fantastic. I got to start. I'm in the process of redoing my website. So I'm going to be putting up some of the photos from the RZA event that you took. I feel like those photos are so slept on.
They're fire. They're so fire. Check out our merch over at newsmyfiance.com/merch. Shout out to Lily. Lily has been working on some new designs.
W Lily.
God, these designs are fire. So you treat yourself to one everything, and an extra enthusiastic thank you to the fiancés putting their money where their mouth is all over Patreon. We sincerely appreciate y'all's support. I'm going to be spending the next couple of weeks. It's going to take me a while to catch up on the video content. Starting to get that stuff up. We have interviews lined up. We also have interviews that we've conducted. So we're going to put some of that stuff up. And we're going to be building out some more content from more of the volunteers that are involved. Some of the people working in the background helping us make things work. You're going to start seeing a little bit more diverse content and some extra content too. So shout out to everybody that's been involved with that, and shout out to everyone that is on the Patreon, whether you're free or a paid member. But first things first, KCC's, Share Bear, Ella, Jay, Katie, Kyle, Michelle, Olivia, and Rossum. Thank you so very much. Every dollar does count. Makes it a little bit easier for us every single week. And thank you to our ever-growing stable of free 99 fiancés. Thank you for all your support and encouragement and staying engaged with us. So, you know what the deal is. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. No war but class war. Go hard on systems and not people. And we will see you next week. Nope. This Thursday. We'll see you this Thursday. I'll be on X-Ray this Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 9:06 right before Tom Hartman. Really hope to see you guys in the chat, in the text thread.
Or
I'm going to be solo dolo.
In this big streets of the Big O.
Okay. All right.
I'll see y'all out there.
You in this big O. You in this big O.
That's catching on.
We're going to see you in the Big O.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely, on Twitch. Make sure you're following on Instagram. I will put my Twitch up there. So yeah, do some gaming, do some DJing, definitely do some cooking. I gotta practice that. Thank you, AJ.
Yep. I'm seeing 7 of y'all in the chat right now. I know at least 2 of y'all are following me, so I expect 5 followers.
Bet. Yeah. So we'll we see you later on. Also, November 8th at Round the Block at Ethos on Killingsworth. It is the first Cooking with Am pop-up. I'm going to be meeting with Jolly tomorrow, having some conversations about the menu. So we'll be announcing the menu soon. You know what I'm saying? All the food is free. We're also preparing something else really special for you guys. Me and Lily are working on some holiday situations. So we'll have some free samples that day as well. So, all right. Yeah. We'll catch you on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. And you can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.